the morning. Super Bowl team and now these haters salty.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the East Coast Red and Gold Podcast. I'm Niners Jess, along with Ty Alston, Maddie B, and your girl Bex. We are all here tonight.
Hey,
all here.
hey.
All here. And you can hear all of us. You can see all of us. Like,
Yes, nobody has technical difficulties. We're all good.
You don't say it out loud until later.
Ah, crap. I just put it into the universe.
Come on, man.
And he started to get pixelated immediately.
And it is Wednesday, August 7th, Dwight Clark Day.
D-Day.
Yes. Happy Dwight Clark Day to everybody. And remember that Golden Heart thing is right up in the corner. Today is a great day to give to that, by the way.
Yes,
And
the QR
also-
code is to the left of Ty.
Yes. Yes, good job.
Well,
good job.
To the right from my perspective, but
That's right.
Good job.
depending on how you're looking.
All right. So,
Did I just see for $30 million a year, you two can feed a wide receiver? I am deceased, man. I am dead.
Not deceased.
Holy God. That's amazing. That is well done. Well done.
So Becca, how was the Hall of Fame?
The Hall of Fame was wet. Seems to be a theme for a lot of things this week, but it was delayed. Luckily, I had gotten one of the group, event things, and so we had a brunch pass to go into some event. Warren Sapp was signing. A bunch of other guys were in there. They brought in the Texan cheerleader. So it was kind of a cool thing because every time the weather was not cooperating, they're like, we're extending it another hour. Just stick around. The food will keep going. The bar will stay open. Just hang out here. So it was good in that respect that they kept that going and kept that open for everyone. Otherwise, it was pretty rough. The outdoor stuff was just saturated. It started to rain again, and then as soon as Patrick was done, I left. I was like, I am not staying around. But
every year there's some sort of weather bullshit at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
every year.
And it was soupy and muddy. They have you park at a county fairground thing where they bus you back and forth, which is great that they give you transportation and make sure you have a place to park. You're not driving around trying to find something in the little area. But it was a lot. You couldn't see the bust until like Monday, and I was already leaving to drive back Sunday. So I have to go back to go see his bust actually in the Hall of Fame. So unless you have like the high upper echelon VIP ticket to do it, to go, I guess, to the after party signing where you could see the bust, which was super expensive. What I bought was already expensive. It was a lot, but just him, he was so cute and so exciting and fun to watch, give his speech and knowing his story and everything about him. You couldn't ask for more. You could absolutely tell he was on cloud nine the whole time, and it was a good time. So yeah, I do have an extra pen if we want to do that as a giveaway at some point. I did buy an extra one for that.
Awesome.
Nice.
But all in all,
it sounds like a good weekend other than the weather.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. It was wonderful. Patrick got enshrined in the Hall of Fame. My husband. All the contingency, the Niner contingency was there. So they all come out, like they don't have a lot of exits. So they all have to either walk out the front door or out this little side door. And the first thing they said was, I heard them say Niner brass coming out. And the Escalade pulls up and it was Jed and Dr. York. So Jed signed a hat. I have a signed hat from Jed. And then, there's another Escalade pulling up and they're like, Niner people coming out. And it was Jim Harbaugh and all the Niner players that played with Patrick. So all these people are like running over. They had no idea who it was. Navarro was first in, and I didn't see who went in with him initially, but Jim Harbaugh and Navarro they were first on the bus. But then Delaney Walker was there, and I was like, D-Walk. So he stops and he turns around. So all these people like run up and start trying to get autographs. So I was like the bridesmaid, like always the last one. And I'm like, and then who else? Mikey Potty was there, and I was like, Big Mike. And then out of nowhere, here comes Deshaun Goldson, and I was like, Goldie! And he stops and gets back off the bus, but we had already walked back away from where they were loading on their little mini bus. And he just blew a kiss and, pointed and was like, oh, but he wasn't going to sign anything. They're off to go to the after party.
Yeah.
So I was a little disappointed. Frank Gore walks out and he walks out behind me. I didn't even know because most of them coming out a different door. I turned around and I'm like, Frank Gore. I'm running over to try and get Frank Gore to sign. I already have his autograph anyway, but nonetheless, he was shooting off to leave. They didn't sign a lot, they didn't stay a lot, but it was very tough to get autographs. I mean, even with the Hall of Famers, they would walk out and they just would walk right past and wanted no part of signing. So that was a little disappointing because it was a small audience, a small group of people that were there, and here they all come out, and when people recognize you at that point, you're wearing a little yellow polo shirt. There was definitely one guy that I was happy for. He had a big picture. I think it was Miami Dolphins or some team. He had all these guys on the picture, and the only one that was missing was in the middle. And he yells out to the guy, and he goes, "You're the only one I need left on the XYZ picture from this game." And his wife stops and walks over, and she goes, "The only chance you have is if I take it and have him sign it." And she took this picture. She goes, "I'd hate for it to not get signed." This man's, limping and walking with a cane or some assistance. And she goes over and has him sign it and brings it back. She goes, "I'm happy that you got this fully signed." And so I was so excited.
That's nice.
That's cool. Yeah, that's very cool.
So there were moments like that where people genuinely wanted those things to get signed because they know these guys are getting older and it's not going to be forever. And the cute, I mean, Patrick's speech, I'm sure you've all seen it. He was the sweetest thing ever. Cute. Oh, still. Love.
Awesome. All right. So, Mitch Wisnowski, knee, but he was in uniform. Ayuk is a hold-in. Ricky Pearsall, shoulder, but he was also in uniform. Isaac Yadam, CMC, calf. Mitchell, knee. Patrick Taylor, DFF. Logan Thomas, hammy. Trent Williams, holdout. Feliciano, Burford, Okunyanu, and Elliott, and Isaac Arendo.
Did you say someone was DTF? Excuse me?
DFF.
What was? Oh, okay.
Demetrius Flanagan Fowles.
Oh, okay.
DFF.
I thought you said Patrick Taylor was DTF. I didn't realize that DFF was down. I was very confused. Thank you.
Down 4.
I
was like down 2 feet already. Like, what is happening, guys? Like, come on.
I agree with this, Anshul. These guys need to stretch more.
Something.
Yeah.
That's a long list of people already feeling tweaked.
Yeah. But CMC is actually going to miss the preseason. I didn't expect to see him in preseason anyway.
Yeah.
Kyle did say he'd be out a couple weeks, but definitely not going to see him for preseason. All right. So in sticking with the thumbnail, the BA saga, and, is this the end for the Niners and BA? Are they now breaking up? The Pats and Browns were in it. The Steelers were in it. Then the Steelers were out. The Pats are out. Steelers are back in. And now it seems like there's a few other teams maybe within this bidding war. What are your guys' thoughts? I know for me, I'm about ready for this to be done, whichever way it leads. one of the reporters had asked Fred Warner today if, the energy, in the locker room, and, I mean, what is he really going to say? He's
Right.
not going to say like, oh my God, like this BA stuff, for me, I feel like it's a distraction. It's definitely been a distraction from seeing all these injuries. Like, I had to go back to a tweet to get like all these injuries, and write them down because everybody's been talking about BA. What are your guys' thoughts? Becca, I'm going to start with you.
I mean, I agree. It's a big distraction. And even if the players don't want to say it out loud, it's a big distraction. He's a big part of the offense for us. And for it not to be nailed down at this point, how do you start to put things together and plan for an offense with or without him? It's now this is where the rubber starts to meet the road. And I feel like he's got to do his business or get off the pot. I know we try to keep this family friendly, but for God's sakes, you wanted a trade. They put 2 trades on the table. You didn't like those trades. Now maybe there's a chance you're going to stay with us. Boy, figure it out, and figure it out quick, because now everybody's getting really, really tired of all of it, all the drama, all the nonsense. And I still think he plays with us. I still think so. If we're not going to get the right draft capital out of him and the right trade, whatever, another human being that can play the position in his stead, then he's playing with us, and we might not get crap at the end of the season. If we get a Super Bowl ring, we're not going to remember that. If we don't, we're going to be like, oh, we didn't get anything for BA out of this whole drama saga, but at least it was put to bed. I think it's now coming down to where the Niners are going to be like, you're playing out the season. Good luck. You better it's a make or break for you, because now you have to prove yourself to the rest of the league that you're worth every dime you're asking for. And you better play like you mean it, or we get some team that comes in with a player that we can immediately put on our roster plus some draft capital, because he's worth it. And we all know that. We love BA, but he's got to stop. And his agent does too. But I think the draft options that they put on the table maybe weren't as attractive as he thought that he wanted. And his window's getting a little smaller, and maybe there is a deal that's going to come out of it. It's now at this point, it's 50-50.
Ty?
Yeah. I don't think it's a distraction. I think the team is used to this. Like, people holding out, people not being here, blah, blah, blah. It's like the same soup just reheated every year. They're used to it. They're going to go do their thing, go play ball, and get ready. They're probably tired of people asking them the same questions every year. That's probably the number one thing, because reporters just take the same question and just fill in the new player name. That's it. Hey, Sin. Yeah, as far as him, I'm feeling like a lot of other fans. I'm tired of it. If you're gonna go. If you're gonna stay. Make a decision. Do something, right? Let's stop with the shenanigans already. First you want to stay, then you want to go. Then you said you want to wind up staying, and then you're like, nope, I want to go. It's like, all right, here's the options. Nah, I don't want to go. It's like he wants to have his cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. And it unfortunately doesn't. And I commend the 49ers for being absolutely nice about this. Because at the end of the day, that's what they're doing. How do you tell a player, okay, we'll help you seek a trade, and do you approve of going to this team? Where does that happen? Normally it's, hey, come into our office. Yeah, we're sending you to Siberia. We love you. We appreciate you. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out. Take a coat with you. It's cold up there. That's normally the way it goes. So, kudos.
I kind of feel like that's exactly the options he got. Don't you think those are the options he got left with though? Like, here's Siberia 1 or 2. Pick your poison. Or Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Didn't I'm reading Anshul's comment. Like, didn't they all sit down and talk like a month and a half ago?
Yeah, they did.
It was
They
recent.
did, and they've been talking ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we all know during that summer period, they all go away. They don't talk. They don't do anything. That's what it is. Then they come back and they start talking again. And they've been talking like after that summer period hit. It's just that BA wasn't talking to the team directly. So that's why he requested that let's all have a sit down and I want to hear it directly from you instead of via my agent. So that's why that happened. But they've been talking and just can't see eye to eye. So, and let's not forget, like playing out the last year of your contract and going into free agency is an option. Players do it all the time, every year. I don't understand why, like, that's not in the lexicon of things happening here, because it can definitely happen.
Yeah, I think his agent should have just come in a little bit sooner and kind of gain some type of control with BA, because he literally like spun out of control with like wanting to be traded, wanting to stay. I mean, I don't know. Today on I think it was the Insiders, Mike Garafolo and them, they were at Raiders training camp. And
I saw that.
BA's agent was standing behind them at
He was literally
Raiders
right
training
behind
camp.
them.
Yeah, and they wanted him to come on. He said no comment, but there's nothing done.
Yeah.
But everybody's saying, "Oh, well, he's at Raiders camp." Like, nothing's going to get done. Like, there is a thing such as cell phones.
Hello.
And I was reading all that and I was just like, what I don't understand
Stupidity,
that,
right?
And
Yeah.
maybe he also
Vegas is so
represents
far
other
away from the Bay
flavors.
Area.
Right?
Just so,
Like-
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
so
So
unbelievably
long.
far. Like, there's no
Oof.
way you can get to either of those spots from anywhere, and there's no like
I know, right?
plane service or,
Yeah.
literally. I mean, there's probably ways to transport out there at this point. If there's any place where you could do it, it would be out there, right? Vegas to LA, Vegas to the Bay Area. Please give me a break, guys. Christ's sakes.
All right, Maddie, what are your thoughts?
I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of this every year. Why wasn't this done after the Super
Yeah.
Bowl, guys? Like, I'm just like, I hear that it was so close. Like, at this point in time in the NFL, you really got to read the tea leaves around the league, and the tea leaves around the league are going to be really simple. Teams are going to spend to keep their good players, right? And they're going to spend quickly so they don't have to spend as much as the next guy, right? Because the longer you wait, the more it goes up. Everybody is absolutely tearing the Cowboys a new one. And trust me, nobody enjoys watching the Cowboys get torn a new one more than myself. But we deserve that same scenario in this case, right? Like, if we knew Ayuk was going to be 26, 28 million, like full court press, maybe sneak it in there for 29, because if they had beaten ASB to the signing table, we're not in this situation right now.
Right.
It's all done, right?
How do you know that for sure?
We don't know.
We
But
don't. But
he could have came in saying,
if you worked
the
it
market
out,
is-
you worked it out.
he could
Based
have came
on,
in saying, I want 30 plus.
and if that was the case, then hey, but everything that I've been reading, the Silver's article basically, and Kyle Silver's article, of course, is sourced by Kyle. So let's just let's roll with that right there. So yeah, that's definitely, there's some stuff going on there, right? Like, he's able to compartmentalize that Trent Williams isn't there.
As a Niners fan, it's
Who
What was
who
that?
came in from above?
I know, right?
That's
What
amazing.
is that? We're getting
Like,
hacked.
I don't know where that came from, but like that was the voice of God, man. But it's just so like, from everything that seems to have happened here, and based on where we're currently at, it times up. Seems as though and Ayuk said more than once, like he thought he was done. He thought the deal was done. So why wasn't it done at that point? If the player thought it was done now,
And ownership thought it was done.
why
49ers
wasn't it
management
done?
thought it was done.
Right.
Let's not leave that out.
So
Remake.
why wasn't it done? That's my question. That's what I want to know. At the end of the day, is they got it done, and then all of a sudden ASB comes to press, right? Is that what happened? And then all this other stuff happened? That's what I want to know. Because like if it was done and then they just huddled around with it for 3 weeks while Parag waited for like a salary cap expiration loophole so that he could get a minimum exemption back for a 4th rounder in 2039, and then during that time frame the Lions got something done, then that's on them, right? So
And that may well
whoever's
be
fault this is, like, fix it and figure it out. Like, it's not like the salary cap's still not going to go up next year. Oh, P.S. Has anyone looked at the 49ers salary cap recently?
No.
Have you looked to see how much money they have available? If you go and you go to the little, it just so happens that they're number 1 in the league with almost $50 million in cap room. And you can roll that
Wow.
over into the next year. Weird.
Hmm.
So, and they're going to have to do something with Trent Williams, which I think based on the way his stuff is for this year is if they do end up doing anything, like it's probably going to create some sort of salary cap variance, which is going to create more space for this year, which they can then roll over in next year. And then whatever they do with BA, like could create something similar. So it's not a money scenario. And like, they must have a plan. I hope they have a plan for Brock Purdy, right? Because Brock Purdy can demand a new deal literally the day after the regular season ends. It's not after the playoffs. It's not the start of the new year. It's the day after the regular season ends. So go ahead and get him signed to it literally the day after the season ends. Have it done. It's all done. There it is. And then everybody else can try to beat it the rest of the offseason, right? So we'll see what happens, and if that's, but then you see on the other side, Sin, they say, well, John Lynch and Ryan Williams are best of friends. It's just, they're buddies and they're just going to get this done. And it's just like, I'm so sick of all of it. And this Trent Williams thing literally isn't talked about at all because this stuff is on the front burner, yet is probably the most critical.
The more important.
So,
right. Trent Williams needs to be a priority.
Yeah.
That needs to be right off the list right now.
Like enough of this BS.
I don't understand why the Trent thing wasn't done early in the offseason. Like, am I off base here? Like, why wasn't this stuff done?
He didn't ask for it.
It felt like it was out of nowhere, though. The Trent Williams.
Yeah, that was a blind side.
Yeah, that was kind of. Yeah.
Didn't seem like that one was.
He just doesn't seem like the type to me that would just not say anything, though. He seems to me to be like, "Hi, are you going to pay me soon?" He doesn't.
You know what? The timing was weird because like he was there at minicamp.
Yeah.
Like him, CMC, like they were all kind of like on the side field, just watching. Like even Nick Bosa was part of that, and then all of a sudden it was just like he's non-existent for training camp. And then it's known that it's because of the contract, and it's like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That one took me by surprise for sure. I was like, where'd the Trent Williams thing come out of nowhere from? I'm like, damn. Can we win?
The last thing this team needs. Like Dominic Pooney can't play every position on this offensive line, guys.
Dominic Pooney loved my Shanisher, by the way.
As he should. As everyone should.
He was walking in and he's like, oh my God, that shirt is awesome.
Yes, it is. Thank you for acknowledging.
Anshul says they knew his contract was non-guaranteed.
They didn't know he wasn't going to.
CMC got paid. When you think Trent would want to get paid too?
Until you hear from a player, you don't think.
Right.
No.
You don't think it. You
Like you're
think they'll
not sitting
come?
there making a list like, okay, well, this
Mhm.
person, you know what I mean? Like,
Right. Right. You know, these are veterans. They always show up to work. You don't expect someone to just come in one day and be like, you know what? I don't want to be here because my salary isn't guaranteed. Even though if I show up week 1 on the roster, it's guaranteed for the season. I don't want to be here right now. Like that's a blind side. You don't expect that. And like Jess, you just mentioned it. He was there for OTAs. And then comes out of the blue. Oh, nope. Change your heart. I don't want to be here. And let's not forget the agents are a big part of this, right? They've
and
already
EA
been
needs a new
paid.
agent, by the way.
They've already, like in the case of Trent, they've already been paid.
Yeah.
So now it's like, how can I get a little bit more money off this client? Hey, I got an idea. How about we get you restructured and get you guaranteed money and I could get 10% of that? Like that happens. There's the greed factor with agents who are driving their clients that drives teams and us fans crazy. We can't forget about that.
Well, but it also helps the team to restructure all the time too. So that it benefits the team to restructure these deals. Look at what Parag does all the time. He kicks the can down the road. And so he's looking for that. They're looking for that. So it's a mutual thing, as dirty as it is. But I do think that both sides use it to their advantage.
And he says he was an intern at CAA. Those agents are awful. I know. They're all from my neighborhood in New Jersey.
Dirty jurors in the house.
Right.
We know what's up.
Anshul says, I don't care if he's a vet. That's like you going to work and saying, I'm doing more than I used to do, and I'm a huge part of our success. I feel like I deserve a raise.
And sometimes you have to advocate for yourself. You're right.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Yo, you go to management early. You address that. Hey, I'm the building block. I'm the guy. I think I deserve a raise. Let's work on it.
Yeah.
But nowhere else in America can you say I'm not showing up to work until I get said raise, or
yeah.
Like it's fantasy land.
Your ass would be fired.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For the rest of us
And-
little peons, we don't have jobs anymore.
And this isn't even work, right? This is just the basic team building exercise. We're having a team building retreat. Everybody come, let's get along and be prepared. And he's like, nope, not until I get my raise or my guaranteed money or whatever he wants.
But I am not doing the what is that, the fateful fall, whatever the
Oh yeah.
all your teammates have to catch
Yep.
you.
I don't trust none of y'all. Nope.
The trust fall, that's what it's called. The trust
There you go.
fall. Yeah. Ooh, I'm gonna fall and I'm gonna trust that you're all gonna catch me. Yeah, no, your ass is
Nope.
great.
Exactly.
Go down.
All right. So let's do a little exercise here.
Trust fall.
Your
Your
top
There you go.
5
working it out.
most important 49ers. Current, obviously. Go ahead, Maddie.
Purdy, because if he doesn't start, we're screwed. Okay, so there's one.
Mhm.
CMC, because the entire offense runs through him. 2. Debo, because when the offense can't run through CMC, you run it through Debo. Thank you. Welcome back. I would put Trent Williams at 4 because he's your lead offensive lineman. And that offensive line looks a hell of a lot different without him there. And then at 5, I would say Fred Warner, because as long as Fred Warner's on that defense, you probably got a chance. If Fred Warner's not on that defense, you are also effed in the A. So
Who was number 3?
Not all that great. Number 3 was
said Trent?
Debo. No,
Oh,
Debo.
That's right.
Trent was number 4.
Oh, sorry, Trent was 4. That's right.
Yeah. So Brock,
Okay.
CMC, Debo, Trent, and then Fred Warner. I believe we're
okay.
talking just all of the team, right? So that would be the 5.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. Ty?
I'm going to say it's going to echo. I'm pretty sure we're all echo this stuff, but I'm going to go Brock, CMC, Trent, Warner, Bosa. So I got 2 defensive players, 3 offensive players.
I don't know how you argue with either one of your lists because
Yeah.
they're not going to be very much different. And
Exactly.
you can't. You need those people. Quite literally, I don't care if you what order you put them in. You need those people. Same.
All right, who are your 5, Becca?
Ditto. Yeah, it's exactly the same people.
Yeah. Mine is too. The
I know
one
you're going to have George in your list because
Well,
that's
who's your
Yes, that's
variant?
actually-
Exactly.
yes,
Like
that's
we all
right.
have
All
a
right,
common
hold on,
core.
George,
But
hold on.
there's one
George,
variant.
George,
Core.
George.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Brock, George, CMC, Trent, and Fred Warner.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
So the one person that we didn't name was BA.
was Brandon Ayuk.
I love Brandon Ayuk. I think he's the greatest number 2 receiver that this team could possibly have. And honestly, I think on any other team and in any other scenario, I think he's a clear number 1. But this isn't the type of offense that's just going to funnel things to the wide receiver. It's just not going to do that unless you're
I
going to
agree.
run the ball, which that's not really a thing for him, right? Like he could probably get it on a reverse here or there, but like other than that, probably not. Like it's designed to go through the running back. That's when it's the most effective.
Mhm.
That's why when you said CMC number 2, like, yeah, can't argue with that.
Chad Ochocinco was on Shannon Sharp's podcast, and he pretty much said that we'll be just fine because of the way Kyle Shanahan runs this offense.
Yeah. Well, we know that. We've seen it. We've seen how there have been times where you remove one part and the offense runs fine. And we've seen games where, Ayuk said it himself. He's the 4th option on a run-first offense. Well, that's just reality. So if you remove number 4, is the offense going to hurt that bad?
Mhm.
And when you have to run through CMC, George Kittle, Debo Samuel,
Right.
hello, I just named 3 all-pros, right?
And then we still have Jawan Jennings.
And
Yeah.
who was the MVP of the Super Bowl? Had the score been different? Whose number did Kyle call at the end of the game to make the touchdown? Right?
Yeah.
Like let's not sleep on him. Like there's other parts in play, and I love BA. We know how important he is. We know how great he is. But when you sit back and you start to assess your team, and what we do is like, hey, what's the priority here? What's the priority signing this offseason? Oh, we got to get Trent done. Got to make him happy.
Yes.
We got to work that out. Dude, you're on the back burner right now. I got to figure out this left tackle to protect my superstar quarterback to be.
And honestly, at this point, that's exactly the tactic the Niners should take is, who's
most
the priority
definitely.
now? It's got to be Trent because you wanted a trade. We gave you options. Now you've got a choice to make. Meanwhile, we've got to figure out where we're going to focus on Trent. And that's exactly the message I feel like they should send. You've had all off season to dick around with this whole process. And now time's running short. We're going to prioritize Trent, and then we'll figure out whatever it is you're going to do, because we don't have time for this anymore.
Here's a question from Kali. What's up? Who's getting separation versus man coverage with BA gone? Maddie?
Who knows? Who
Right.
knows, man? Like, who knows?
Okay. Underneath is going to be BA and Juwan, because that's where
Right.
they make their money. And we've seen them get open underneath on man coverage. Deep, you hope one of the young guys can get open, right? Purcell, Cowing with their speed, maybe Jennings, Connolly, right? One of these guys with some speed who can go deep, maybe they can get open. One thing we can't forget about is that Kyle spent years scheming guys before we had a Debo and an Ayuk, he would scheme guys open. So as long as we have all that going on, we can get some guys open.
Kendrick
That's
Bourne
not
and
a
Matt
problem.
Breida were able to be schemed open.
I was
right?
just going to say, don't we? We're signing
Richie
Matt
James.
Breida back. So
Yeah, like, and that's why I was kind of like on the question, like, you know, when it comes to man coverage, like at that point, it's up to the coaching staff, like a player or players to step up and do something different. Like that's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Maddie froze a little bit.
Yeah. It wouldn't
We
be a
had a
show
good
if he didn't.
37 minutes of you, Maddie.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a show if
It was
it
a
did.
good-
which is probably a
It was a
show
good
record.
run.
It's almost got to be like we need to like keep
It
him
was a
sad.
It was a good run. It was
Oh,
a good
he's
run.
back. He's back. It was brief.
Look at the end of the day, like they've just got to get with it. You know what I mean? And by the way, before people just start panicking with this whole, oh God, if we lose Ayuk, we can't win the Super Bowl. Like the Chiefs won a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill. Like they got like the the Patriots started winning Super Bowls after they got rid of Randy Moss.
Yeah.
They
People
didn't win
tend to
one with
forget
him.
that. They didn't win one with him.
We are right.
Like
We're never wrong.
Hallie, we're good. We're good. We're good.
Yeah,
Like-
I've gotten like, texts and DMs and just saying like if BA's gone, that's it. Our Super Bowl window's closed.
No,
That's like, and it's like, oh my God,
That's
the
not the
drama, like the
case.
drama continues. Like I
Yeah.
can't.
the Super Bowl window is open as long as you keep going to the window.
yeah.
Okay? Like that's basically
It's a
what
very
it
good
boils
point.
down to.
Yeah.
So even if your team isn't as stacked this year as it was last year, well, guess what? Maybe the rest of the league isn't quite as stacked as they were this year as they were last year. Like sometimes it's luck of the draw, man. It just really is. So you just have to keep going every year until they finally send you home. Like that's it. You know what I mean? And there's still a lot more talent on this team, even without BA. There's a lot more talent on this team than there is on
Boom.
others. Way
On
more.
So many others.
Way more. And P.S. The Lions can't keep paying everybody either. Okay.
No.
Also, does anyone really want to move to Detroit? Okay. If people
Well,
don't
I
want to
mean-
move to Cleveland or Foxborough, I can assure you they do not want to move to Detroit. Okay. I can
What he
assure you.
just said. Here, you
Promise.
want to trade? Pick
They do,
one.
they do not
Detroit,
want Kid
you
Rock
want
as their neighbor.
Cleveland? You want New
Like, I
England? You want
swear.
Boston?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't want to.
And also, here's the thing about New England. Like,
Uh-oh.
No.
When he comes back, it's going to be riveting. Just
Yeah,
stay
it's
with
gonna be
us.
great. It's gonna be great. Just hang in there.
And I was in
Steve-O-
Foxborough today.
Well,
Ain't much
the
going on up
Cousins
there.
Rumors Steve-O's talking about, those were legit. Kyle Shanahan wanted Cousins, wanted him on the Niners. He legit did. He's admitted that in many interviews.
Yeah.
he said
They
that.
thought that's what we were gonna do.
That's why they didn't scout Patrick Mahomes at all. They didn't bother.
Exactly.
There was no
Exactly.
point. We're just gonna get Kirk Cousins this
We're
year.
just gonna get Kurt.
Yeah.
And then it didn't work out. So that was a legit thing. Yeah.
Well, they panicked. That's what happened. They panicked. Kyle panicked. He called his friend Bill Belichick, and Bill fleeced him.
He didn't make that call. That call came
Ooh,
from
who made
inside
the
the
call?
house, my friend.
Oh, really? Now
That
Mhm.
was specifically a last minute. Multiple things I've read, heard, seen, felt. That was specifically one of the few times that BB has probably ever done right by a player, and was like, "We're going to send you here," and he had to go by that deadline because
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Brady had
Because
told Kraft,
Tom went to Daddy
yeah,
and whined.
yes.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot that part. Yeah,
That was, and that's when
Yeah.
I had heard that
and he still fleeced us though.
previously, but here, right. But here's the other kicker, right? Like that totally changes everything because if Cousins just signs here in that off season, like how does everything look the next
How
year?
does that look? Yeah.
Like
Totally
you
different.
want to look, if somebody starts
Totally different.
a 49ers what if blog, like you are going to have so
Oh
much
my
fun with
gosh.
some of the things that this team could have done. But like they
Yep.
signed Jimmy Garoppolo to that huge deal, right? He was the highest paid quarterback in the NFL
Yep.
when he signed that deal. So for everybody who thinks that Brock Purdy is going to take some sort of hometown discount, I promise you he's not.
He's
When he
not.
signs his deal, he will be the richest quarterback in NFL history. That is a
Exactly.
fact. Okay. That is a spoiler. Okay. That's not just a prediction. That is a spoiler. Like
And
that's what that is.
especially if we go back to the Super Bowl again this year. You
Yeah.
can bet your bottom dollar his number is going to be a knuckle dragger. It's going to be big.
There's no if. It's happening.
It's
No
happening.
if.
It's going to happen anyway. But if we go
happening.
back to the Super Bowl and when we win, yeah, it's a big number.
So
Well, he can sign that contract at the end of the regular season, so we better win the division and win it good. Like a nice bye week, then tie that in right there. I'd like that.
So Sin asked, how is BA going to feel catching balls from Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh? Well, right now it's Justin Fields because Russell Wilson's
Exactly.
hurt.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be
Exactly.
Justin Fields. I think
Yeah,
Justin
and
Fields
they
kinda
said
slid
that
his way into that
it's
position.
pretty much like an open competition in Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
So
If-
good luck with that.
Yeah.
If you look at Russell Wilson, he's been declining over the past few seasons.
Time.
Big
He's
Now
time.
he's
not the
gonna have
Russell
a-
Wilson of 10 years ago.
Right. It's
No.
not
You
the
guys
same
remember which quarterback had a bad calf last preseason?
ball.
Nope.
Well, we're going to play him on Monday Night Football this year.
Yay.
And we remember what happened on opening day last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, calf injuries, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yep. You got to put him on. And at that age, so, yeah.
He's not
Yeah.
a spring chicken. Hey.
I think that,
Leonard
I think this is,
Floyd.
I think this
Leonard
is Mr.
Floyd.
Sierra's. I think this is Mr. Sierra's
Yes.
swan song, if you will.
Leonard Floyd.
Russ is
burn
Leonard
the
Floyd.
stage, charge the crystal. That's what we do.
Exactly, Callie.
Yeah, no, it actually it is open and it is an open competition in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think so too.
That I'm 100% sure of.
Well, Justin Fields lost his job to Caleb Williams because Caleb Williams is under team control for the next 4 years at a fixed price
Right.
and had a higher ceiling than Justin Fields. Like, it wasn't a deal where they were like, they were going to, because if they were going to make them compete, they would have made them compete. What they
Yeah.
saw with Caleb Williams on film and everything else leads them to believe that he has a higher ceiling than Justin Fields. And
Right.
Justin Fields was going to be due for a rather large contract very, very soon.
Exactly.
So they were already at poop or get off the pot time for the for him. So Caleb Williams came along at the right time. So that was a business thing, really. Like at the end of the day, like sure, probably a football thing, but at the end of the day, like you're really going by a business decision. Like a lot of people wanted them to trade the number 1 pick and keep Justin Fields and
Yeah.
build around him. But
Because he was playing well at the end of the season.
yes,
He was actually showing some signs of development and improvement.
the
So
problem
a lot of
is
people had that sentiment.
exactly. The problem is he had too many other moments of like, I'm going to hold the ball for 4 days and get crunched.
Right.
And for whatever reason, like when, no matter what, really. When a quarterback is let down by his team's offensive coordinator, they don't care. They just move on to the next guy and hope that he can catch on with whatever offensive coordinator it is.
Yep.
It's just too easy for them to say screw it and start over again. And that's exactly what they did. And it was set up that just at the end, he was just getting to the end of that 4 years. So you're not going to give him the 5th year. If you're not going to guarantee him that 5th year option, and you're not going to do anything with him for the 4th year, you got to do something with him. So trade him now and move on. So that's what they did. And they were lucky to get him. Honestly, lucky to get rid of him. So
David McNiner makes a good point. The quarterback situation Ayuk is heading to is rough with any team that is involved. And it's true because you don't know what you're going to get from Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. You know, they
Tom
think
Brady's not in New England anymore.
Right. And they think Jacoby Brissett is going to be starting in New England. And then you have Pittsburgh with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. So, but then you have the San Francisco 49ers with Brock Purdy. But
with the Super Bowl window still open.
Yes, but hey, continue listening to your agent, BA.
Pick your poison, right? Choose wisely, my friend.
Calvin Ridley didn't want to go to New England this offseason either. They offered to overpay him. He didn't want to go there because of that situation.
Yeah.
No receiver wants to go to New England. Like, nobody's wanted to go there since Tom Brady left. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, if they start winning again and need a wide receiver, guess what? Everyone will want to go there. But until then, they want nothing to do with it, with those New England winters and everything else. You don't see people trying to beat feet to Buffalo. Do you see the number 1 free agent wide receiver going to Buffalo? I didn't. I don't think that happened. I don't think Tyreek Hill will ever play for the Buffalo Bills, guys.
Nope.
Fun fact. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Nope.
Okay? So, come on. Like, newsflash, wide receiver doesn't want to go to cold weather teams. Stop the presses. Yet everybody wants to play for Mike Tomlin, so everybody will get over that for Pittsburgh, right? So it's about creating a culture. If Gerard Mayo can create a culture up there where people want to play for him, then people won't care about the weather. Culture trumps weather.
So Jonathan says that he thinks Ayuk stays this year. The time to move him was on draft day, like what happened to AJ Brown a few years back.
Oh, couldn't agree more.
I
Either
agree.
sign him or trade him. Like that, and that should have been done months ago. Figure it out. One or the other.
And I think we said that last week too. Like, I think he stays. We're going to hold on to him and make him play out his contract here. And now it's make or break for him. You show up and you play and do yourself a favor and give yourself some capital at the end of the season or not. You show up and now it's on you to prove yourself. It is what it is. Either you sign an extension or we get something. We win a Super Bowl, get something done, and we can move some things around and make you stay or not. Or you go test your market in the wind. But that now it's on you. You have to play, and you have to play well to prove that you're worth it.
You'd be making $14 million this year.
Yep.
You have Brock Purdy as your quarterback. The Super Bowl window is open.
Yep.
You could play this year and be probably the highest paid receiver next year, not by us, but by another team.
By someone.
Right.
Or you go somewhere and you know you're not going to a Super Bowl. You're gonna get paid, but you're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything. So I think it's a big decision now because you wanted a trade. We put trades on the table. Okay, you got a couple trade offers. Pick one. Oh, you don't like those? Oh, so maybe
we also, and you know what? We also put a contract on the table as well.
Exactly. So there's contract offers as well.
Our offer still stands.
Yeah, contract still stands. Maybe we can, renegotiate a few of those points, but at some point, crap or get off the pot, right? We've said it before. Like, we're done with this, we're over it. Let's move on. We need to get going on the season and getting ready. We don't need another person who has a down season because you held out so long. We see it every year and it's tiring and it's awful. And no more. Come on. Do it. Either pull the trigger and pick one of these other teams or let's go.
Yeah. And I hope we don't fold either. Like, I just don't want to accept because I saw something out there like a second and a fifth rounder. Like, get out of here with that.
And who else we getting? Who's starting in his place? Yeah, right? Yeah, you can give us those picks. And who else we getting? Yeah, no. Play out your contract. I would rather him play out his contract and make it a prove-it year for him than take that kind of like crappy.
Yeah.
And you know what too, like why, like if BA goes, another reason why we'll be okay is like, you know, how many 1,000-yarders have we had
Yes.
on the team this past season?
Did we have 5? I think it was 5.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it's
a lot.
weird how people think we lose one piece and the whole team's in shambles. The
house
offense is in
hard
shambles.
Yeah, no.
It's
We
like,
got
wait a minute.
sturdy poles in the tent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Exactly the ridiculousness of the whole thing.
Mhm.
Like, BA doesn't make the Niners, right? Like, he makes them better, but does he make them entirely?
No.
We've just seen so many things like over these past few days. That's why I think it's like a distraction, because it's a distraction for
flying
me.
around. Yeah.
You know, like just saying like, oh, you know, the 49ers need BA more than BA needs the 49ers and blah, 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 and all this fun stuff. And
I don't think so. I think it's definitely the other way around for sure. I mean, it's great that he's homegrown, and he is definitely one of Brock's favorite targets and go-to guy, and he's learned to get open. And yes, all those things are true, but next man up, give somebody else a chance. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to be young and hungry, and they're going to figure it out. Look at Jawan Jennings fighting people on the sidelines and taking his spot. JJ will be the next guy up to do the same thing. You know, you give these guys a shot and they're going to take it.
Mhm.
We've got some very hungry guys and that have proven themselves to be capable. So it can go either way, but one way or another, they need to figure it out soon.
so Jonathan says, I'm just glad the CBA changed to where player fines for holding out can't be erased by the team. Players shouldn't be holding out for a new deal to begin with. You signed a contract, so honor it.
Right.
If you don't like the rules, then bring it up with the players union.
Yep.
There you
I
go.
agree.
That's why that reasoning there is why the Trent situation kind of bugs me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, dude, you're not going to play in the preseason anyway. We know that. You're going to be on the roster week 1 for sure. That means your salary for the year is going to be guaranteed.
Yeah.
Done. Like, I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but there's a mindset, a different way you can go about it than how it's being, going about now. It's the business of football. That's what people do. Yeah. Players regretted it because, they just aren't the same to start the season. It's rough.
But I do think a Trent Williams, coming from what he's been through and where he's been and getting to come on the Niners and all the glowing accolades he's talked about, at least getting to play on a championship team, the first time he's ever been to a playoff game. Like, this guy seemed to be so appreciative and happy and humble. And now to see this flip side is like, man, no, don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't switch up like that on us. Like, that's not cool. And, maybe there's been things in the background that we don't know and see with his agents and talks and stuff, but it just feels dirty. I don't know. Like, he just seemed like the guy that was so gracious and appreciative. And then now all of a sudden, oh, I'm going to hold out too. Cause yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one holdout that I didn't expect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was
Definitely.
never.
No one saw it coming.
Yeah.
No one saw it coming.
And then, like, speaking of Chris Jones, like, I saw like the clip today of, when Spencer Burford like didn't block him on, in the Super Bowl and stuff. And then like BA was like wide open. And I was thinking, like, if Brock just like spun out of the pocket.
A little bit. Yeah.
You know, like I
He can
ended up
manage to
playing
buy a
like,
little bit more time.
yeah, like, oh God, it just kind of it replayed in my mind again, like for like most of the day today, and I was like, come on, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. So Becca, I know you think that BA is gonna stay. Ty, what about you?
Ooh, excuse me. I think he's going to stay. When push come to shove, it's like he's going to stay. I mean, all this pandering is just BS. And it's funny, like it's like I want to go to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh historically does not pay top dollars for a receiver. They would rather let a receiver walk and draft another one. So
Mhm.
Pittsburgh probably has the same offer on the table that we have on the table. So it's like, dude, what are you doing? It's weird. But I think at the end of all of this crap, he'll stay in one way or another. He will sign the extension or not, but he'll be on the roster for 2024.
Maddie, what do you think?
I just want to stop. Yeah. I don't want no. Just want
His last dying breath right there.
I just want to get on with the season. I want everybody out there. Like, this is supposed to be a last ride type season, not let's trade Brandon Ayuk. Let's have Trent Williams holding out. Like, figure it out, make it happen. I can't end it with this. This is catastrophic. Give me a friggin' break, guys. Come on. Give me all the breaks in the world. Maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if this team went back to actually running the damn ball once in a while. Like, I feel like they didn't really run it enough last year, especially towards the end. So don't have to worry about blocking Chris Jones on a pass play if you're running it. Just throwing that out there. And running it effectively, right? You're not even in that situation.
Well, Washington has Terry McLaurin.
Exactly. They have a weapon.
Yeah.
It's not like they're void of a number one receiver. They got one.
Like a Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson actually
Jahan
has some talent.
Dotson. Yeah,
Just
exactly.
He didn't work out with Sam Howell last year, which frankly, guys, come on, it's Sam Howell. Like, are we shocked here? Like, it's Mitch Trubisky light. Come on,
right?
And then and then Drake May is like Sam Howell light, only a little taller. So I don't understand the whole the North Carolina quarterback thing. That one.
Yeah.
Where's Mac Jones?
Jacksonville. He's Trevor Lawrence's backup.
That's right.
Like,
that's right. Okay.
Jacksonville's like where SEC players go to die. So that's pretty much
just bring them all
like
in.
Like, it's like a retirement home. Like, they just go there. They live out the back nine of their careers. Like, he'll probably back up Trevor Lawrence for the next 8 to 12 years, probably like Doug Peterson did for Brett Favre. Same vibe. Mac Jones might play a couple of games here or there. Probably do okay because that's his place. You know, Jacksonville is
McLaurin isn't a number one. He's like a Higgins to a Jamar Chase.
I don't know. Has he ever played with a good quarterback? Like a really good quarterback? Has he ever played with a Joe Burrow? I don't believe he has. So I'll give Jaden Daniels a little time. I think he'll do all right this year. There's rave reviews on Jaden Daniels this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things.
And you usually don't hear anything good coming out of Washington ever. So, ever.
Right.
Like, nothing. It's usually nothing but badness from there.
Are they still going to keep the commander's name?
I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
All right.
They are for this season.
Make those decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah. People make those decisions, get paid way more than I do. So we'll let them make it.
That's true.
I'm
all
old.
right.
That's what I am. Tell you that.
No, you're not. Let's go to that hurry up offense in the 2-minute warning.
And go.
Okay, Maddie. Uh-oh.
Go.
Go ahead, Becca.
He's froze.
Well, let's see. Welcome back, Trent Taylor and Matt Breida, to the team. And of course, congratulations to my Big Daddy Patty for making the Hall of Fame. It was an honor and a pleasure to watch that despite the rain and all the weather issues. Happy Dwight Clark Day, everyone, and congrats to Dre Greenlaw for winning the Dwight Clark Legacy Award. And so, here we are. It's about to go down. Season's getting closer. Go Niners. Let's hopefully this Brandon Ayuk nonsense gets settled soon.
Thank you to Brock Purdy, CMC, Nick Zakel, Javon Hargrave, John Feliciano, Colton McKivitz, Jake Brendel, and don't
forget
forgetting
anyone.
somebody, Aaron Banks, Trent Taylor, D Winters,
George,
Dominic Pooney, George Kittle. Thank you guys for the pictures this past weekend. It was awesome meeting you guys. So humble and appreciative, and we had a great weekend. So thank you. And training camp was awesome. And let's get BA done with. Whether he stays or goes. If he stays, great. If he goes, okay. We'll still be fine. As always, go Niners. Shout out to the chat. You guys were great tonight. Thank you so much. Maddie, go ahead.
Buy my damn tickets at ninersne.com. Thank you. That's it. So I've got for tickets there. Go. The Sin has already bought the Jets ones, and we gave away the Saint ones last week. So yeah, go ahead and get the rest of them bought out for me, please. Thank you.
There you go.
That way I can go to the other road games I need to get off my list. Back to Ty.
Once again, congrats to Patrick Willis for making it into Hall of Fame. Incredible honor. It was just a matter of time. Happy Dwight Clark Day, everybody. 8-7. It's something special. Should be if you're a 49er faithful. You know what it is. The first game is upon us. Preseason game against the Titans this Saturday. We get to see the boys in pads back on the field, hitting an opponent. It is a time to be excited. If you're like me and you like to see the young guys out there, this is it. You get to do your own evaluation instead of listening to all this training camp stuff. So tune into the game, enjoy, and we'll be talking about it next week. Go Niners.
Yeah, and I love to see that the Seahawks are already in shambles.
Melting down.
Awesome. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Go Niners.
Go Niners. Oh, and shout out to Booby. I saw Booby Dixon, and he gave him a hug and said, thanks for coming on the show, and told him I'd send him cookies. He just got to tell me where to send them. So he was super cute and very, and he's like, oh, yeah, come back on anytime. So Booby was great.
And go donate to the Golden Heart Fund.
Yes, Dwight Clark Day. Do that.
See you, everybody.
And, of course, for the upstart 49ers, they're 6 yards away from Pontiac. 3rd and 3.
We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly.
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone.